Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah. Koholoyimla Yahweh. Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim. Rakahakudash, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Led by the Spirit, taught us this beautiful truth. Just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwat that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Achanan Nawaf. Just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And so I seen this article here. I remember this. It says defendant's vision of discipline. Registered nurse would beat, torture, and starve adopted daughters as punishment, deleting the 7-year-old. And so when I seen this article, it made me think about this video that I seen last night from one of the elders out in GMS Atlanta, Devout Servants right here. Subscribe and be informed and educated, man. Definitely goes into the scriptures hard and is dedicated to this truth. But he had this video up, and I think it's from this chick's Instagram, I think it is. And it says woman admits, let me see, let's just play it. And this is for educational purposes only, not getting any monetary value or anything off of it. So, copyright disclaimer, basically. So let's just play this video and we'll see what she has to say.
Okay, so this is something that I honestly been pondering on actually for a few years now. I remember what the Bible said about women and like the evil spirit, what the Bible says about the Jezebel spirit and, things I see that women do, things I know and heard that women do, the paternity issue, how these women lay next to a man for years, looking a kid in the eyes for years, knowing there's no relation, how good men get stomped out, how kids are just used for a check. I've come to the conclusion that I think women are just pure evil. Like, I really think women are just pure evil. Women are naturally evil beings, I believe. And only a woman who's honest about our natural nature of being deceptive can change it. Like, for example, I know that naturally there's a selfish, gimme, I want that type of way about me. So, about people, period, but especially women. So if you can't be honest and say that that's in there, then you can't deal with it and address it. And so I've noticed that the women who say they're the dopest, they're the this, they're the that, are usually the worst, because you have to acknowledge the beast in you in order to tame it. And so I really just think most women are natural evil, period. I just think they're evil. And not even just how they deal with men and kids makes them evil, but how they deal with each other. Women are so jealous, deceptive, conniving. Like, you can just feel the evil when you are in the presence of certain women. You can walk in a room and you just feel the daggers. You just feel that demonic spirit. Women are evil. I don't care what nobody say. Women are untrustworthy, deceitful, demonic beings. I said what I said.
Okay, so, hey, coming out of the horse's mouth, right? Now, now we know that we have women of the elect of Israel. Not all women are like that, but generally, overall, man, hey, these American ones, these westernized ones, and not just in America, wherever America has, planted roots, or pretty much, wherever these other countries have, drinking that wine of Babylon, good old America, they want to be Americans. They got the, typical skyscraper, the McDonald's, the Burger King, the Taco Bell. They pretty much, it's like you go to Tokyo or somewhere, you go to a whole other country and they got all the same shit that America has, a bunch of American companies there. And you'll think that you're still in America, They try and dress like these Americans, especially of Jake anyway, the so-called blacks. Because the so-called blacks are are the ones that kind of set the trends throughout the world and everybody else follows. That's why you'll see like a lot of those K-pop groups. Yeah, nothing but they just trying to imitate so-called black people. You got they even try and get the hairstyles. They go to these salons, they try and get afros and shit. So overall, they've been tainted by the Babylonian Jews of America. And again, Judah is like that primary influencer, so to speak, because we have that salt, man. We the seasoning, man, that goes on the meats, man. We the seasoning that goes, in the greens, whatever you want to, but we got that flavor, and everybody, they want a part of it, but they don't want no parts in what we go through. But now, see, like with this one right here, look at this lady. She's a registered nurse. And from the looks of, this picture right here, she don't, appear to be like a bad looking lady. You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm pretty sure she was probably pretty fairly attractive when she was out here on these streets because, hey, registered nurses, man, they make pretty decent money. And I'm pretty sure she was going to get her hair done, nails done, a little makeup. She probably got a little shape, but whatever. Anyway, a registered nurse, you think wouldn't be treating young ladies? These are young girls. You would think that you would. So she might have had a lot of trauma during her her childhood, but it doesn't say anything about her having her own children. You know what I'm saying? And she adopted 3 girls here. So it says 56-year-old. You 56, bro, and you acting like this? But this did happen a few years back. So when she done it, I think it was because it take these people forever to take these people to trial and do what needs to be done to them, even though they, and they're wicked as hell. It says, but the 56-year-old former registered nurse, foster mother in South Florida, will spend the remaining of her days behind bars for the deletion of a 7-year-old adopted daughter after beating, starving, and ultimately torturing the young girl to death while nearly forcing the victim's siblings to suffer the same fate. And that's a scary situation, man. Scary situation, man, when it comes to these children, and you got to deal with a complete stranger, because that's exactly what she was to them. You adopting children, you know what I'm saying? You supposed to be giving them a loving home, man. They already fucked up, you know what I'm saying, from just being tossed around, maybe from house to house, or just just in general, they don't have their own parents, to take care of them. Obviously, they don't have, grandparents, some aunties or uncles on their biological side. So they already, got a lot of little trauma going on. And here you go, the goddamn monster. But I will say also, too, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. Because the Lord's ways are higher than our ways. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts, roughly paraphrasing. So why the Lord does these things to people, hey, we don't exactly know. But we do understand reincarnation in the Bible. We understand, regeneration, people coming back to stand their lot from their past life. And that's something that Christianity doesn't teach us. They don't teach that you were here before. They teach that, there's this red guy. He's got the little, trident or the pitchfork that you want to call it. He got the 2 little horns on his head. And there's this fire just blazing around him. And everybody that's bad, they go there. But that's not scriptural, because the scriptures talks about how your spirit goes back to the Lord that gave it. That's Ecclesiastes 12:7. Your body decomposed, you're buried, and your body is just a housing unit for your spirit. Your spirit goes back to the Lord, whether you were wicked or whether you were good. It's not some burning place underground. That's something that they show you in these movies, and they just pretty much imprint that shit into children as they're growing up. That, oh, you're bad, you're going at, and they're the devil, and that word devil just goes off into a deceiver or an accuser or a slanderer. And that word Satan, it goes off into an adversary. And even though there is a spiritual demon, Satan, and you have the so-called white man, he's the physical counterpart of that spiritual demon, Satan, on the planet. That pushes all this wickedness that goes forth off the earth, that people get to the point of really acting like this. It's a demonic. It goes back to the serpent overall with Eve, these women, because they listened to him, and pretty much overall brought forth all the shit that you see in the world. Anyway, this is Hebrews 10 and 31, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. So with those young girls, they had to been fearful for what they went through. But who knows what they've done in their past life. Or maybe they had not done anything, you know what I'm saying, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? It could have just been judgment on this wicked ass chick. Because you think like you don't have any children of your own and you're adopting children. That's kind of, I would have to say that's really kind of weird these days anyway with the so-called black woman, because she don't want nothing to do with her own damn kids like that, really. So to adopt 3 girls, not to mention, because girls, they need a little bit more attention than, little boys when it comes to certain stuff. She wasn't taking up to no, I think what her lawyer tried to argue was that the little girl didn't die from what she done to him, but that she died from not being able to go to the pediatrician and from, I think, pre-diabetics or some shit like that. But you have these lawyers are wicked as hell because they be arguing for somebody that they know is completely guilty. And that's how you know that you're in a wicked system, because you should be able to, in the ancient days, you would have men do an inquisition. They were basically an investigation, basically. They would go 2, 3 witnesses, 4 witnesses, 5 witnesses, whoever was around. They're going to question them all. They're going to get the account of everybody's what they seen. And then they're going to put together the evidence. And they're going to, if this motherfucker, he needs to be stoned to death, he's getting stoned. If he's not guilty, he gets to go home. It didn't take no year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5, 20 years, and he gets to live 50 years and then they electrocute. No. In the ancient days, we found out what you was doing. You got your ass was out there on the chopping block the day of. Straight up. But that lets you know the type of kingdom that you're in. This is a very wicked kingdom. See, Esau, it's an ongoing rat show of case after case after case. You know how many people that's in court right now? As of, it's, 10 o'clock here almost, in the morning here, so to speak, where I'm at. You know how many court cases that's going down just in this one city? We ain't gonna talk about the 50 states, you know what I'm saying, where little city after city after city after city after city after city after city. I don't give a fuck where you go, from Florida to Washington, from Washington to Rhode Island, from fucking New York to Boston, from Texas to Albuquerque. It's court cases going on right now, and them bitches carry on forever, man. So you're living in a very wicked place where there's not, real judgment, man, that goes forth, man. But anyway, so when I seen this video, which was very interesting, she said she seen some things, and she knows she wicked as hell too. But yeah, man, hey, women are, they're pretty, especially these days. It's a run over, man. You leave the water going and, oh, shit, I forgot to turn off the bad water. Just running over. It's a run over, man. When it comes to the wickedness of Babylon, man, this place is through. And that's how you know that we're at the end, too, man. This is flood behavior. That's where you get that, and we know that, of course, Deuteronomy 32 and 39 talks about how the Lord, he's the one that kills and makes alive. He wounds and he heals. But this is 2 Timothy 3 and 1. It says this, know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. So this is an indicator that we're in the last days. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. See, she was a person that was without natural affection for those young girls. She was fierce towards them. Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. And I'm willing to bet you, if you've ever grown up, which a lot of us have, grew up with, single mothers, and hey, man, that's all, hey, that's some hard shit to grow up to. I'm not gonna front, man. Them being by themselves, them not having no man around, and trying to handle those bills and struggling, you know what I'm saying, to just keep food on the table. Hey, I remember them days. And mama was a pretty mean mama. Yeah, to the lead boy. Every now and then she'll have one of those days where she was just like somewhat at peace, man. But it was just pretty much majority of the days it's just damn demons on her, bro. She couldn't. You was the one that she was taking that shit out on, man. Whatever she was going through, you was the little punching bag. But anyway, this is just the world that we're living in, man. And also, let me get this is one of the curses as well. Deuteronomy chapter 28. I think it's 54. Is it 56? Let me see, 56. Yeah, Deuteronomy 28 and 56. Put a little highlight on that. It says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not have ventured to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughters. Now, those wasn't her real biological daughters, you know what I'm saying? And who knows, man, she probably done had a bunch of them, ABORTs. She probably done deleted a bunch of babies throughout her life. Probably got to a point where she couldn't have none and was just like, well, I'm gonna, adopt, and probably got to that point of adoption and figured out, I can't handle this shit. This is just too much for me. Because again, like I said, it didn't say anything about no man being in the picture. Even like her biological people, as far as her mother, father, brothers, sisters, maybe they was involved, as people in the kids' lives and shit. But nah, man, hey, let me get one in the Apocrypha real quick. Go along with what that chick was saying. Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, also known as the Book of Sirach. Let me see where it's at. I think it's verse 24. It says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. That's why the video. This chick, she like, women are just evil. But I mean, hey, Jake just wicked in general, man. You know what I'm saying? Just being under the kingdom of the so-called white man for so long, Jake just turned out to be pure wicked, man. Pure evil, just exudes from Jake, man. And when we say Jake, we mean Jacob. Because you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You are Israelites. And one of the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28 for disobedience. And the Lord is, putting a real ass whooping on us. And he's using these nations to do so, mainly the so-called white man. And Psalms right here, let's get that. Psalms chapter 17. It says, arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So the wicked is the sword of the Lord. The wicked is the so-called white man. And the Lord used him to whip us real good. They doing us all kinds of dirty, man. They've been doing us all kinds of dirty for the past 500 years, man, basically, man. And the so-called black woman, mainly, Eve, she's like that nigga's physical counterpart, man. Salakia. That's why the apostles say, hey, man, don't trust these women, man. They'll set your ass up. A bitch will have a whole man and deal with another man to just set him up to rob him, man. Lace his drink. Put some shit in his food. And you notice the chick, she was talking about how they use the kids. Like, here you go, you can lay next to a man knowing full well none of the children are his, but you got them thinking that they are. He done raised the kids for 10, 12, sometimes, man, they just never even find out. But she'll go to her death. She'll go to her death, man. You got elderly women out here. When you see some of these elderly women and they be getting their goddamn heads bashed in and shit be happening to them, and they were so sweet and they were so this and they were so that. Man, these women been wicked for decades, long time, damn near 100 years. This happened to her, and she was 80 years old, and this. You know how much wickedness she got away with, man, before the Lord judged her? You let your man go to his deathbed knowing the child wasn't his. You let sometimes these kids, they die. They be in their 60s, 70s, and still be, you know what I'm saying? Like they, still be believing that such and such was their father, man. And she'll never say a word about it. You know how wicked that is? This person can have siblings on a whole nother side that they never even got to meet because she never told the truth about who the child's father was, man. That right there in itself is just pure outright wickedness. But that's just one thing. that's just one thing. I think it's another one in Steph. Let's see. I'm gonna just start at verse 11. 1 Timothy 2:11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman, being deceived, was in the transgression. See? So the woman, she was in the transgression, man. She was deceived. And she brought that bullshit philosophy to, Adam, man. But anyway, brutal. Let's go back in here because let me see. I don't want to keep it too much more longer. But overall, the 12-year-old, she was the oldest at the time. I think she might be like 18 now. They just getting around to sentencing this clown. Okay, so it says the tortures she inflicted upon her children included forcing them to eat human feces. Who does shit like that? Intentional burning them on the stove, chaining them in chairs, physically abusing them, and withholding food and water, among other forms of torture. And there you have it, man. So yeah, the now 18-year-old adopted daughter provided emotional testimony about the horror she and her sisters endured at the hands of their foster mother during the 3-day trial that ended Monday evening. Yeah, hey man, yeah, you know that, and see a person like that going through something like that, she'll fuck around and man, she'll be all kinds of fucked up. She'll be all kinds of fucked up. She meet a man and have some children, she'll turn out the same damn way. Crazy, bro. Anyway. Okay, so her defense attorney reportedly claimed that the registered nurse engaged in reasonable corporal punishment that did not amount to child abuse, asserting that the child's death was mostly attributable to untreated diabetes. Should she have taken the child to the hospital? Yes, obviously, absolutely, but it wasn't murder. It was not child abuse, her attorneys reportedly told jurors. And this is, and them jurors weren't having it, man. But it's crazy, though. It should be against a motherfucker like this, a lawyer like that. You know full well that lady done that stuff, man. But here in this country, because I went to a jury duty not long ago, and damn Edomite sitting there, some damn, our system is not 100%, but it's the best system in the world. Like, man, get your fucking ass out of here. And I was so glad they didn't call me up there talking about no fucking, because I was going to let them have it. Like, man, I don't believe in your court system. Why, sir? Because you stole the damn country. Then you want to get to talking about justice. Get the hell out of here. People out here shooting up, motherfucker can gun down 15, 20 people and this motherfucker get to live. Off the taxpayers, bro. You have to house and feed and clothe this motherfucker. Like this chick right here, supposedly getting life. Why would we have to take care of her for life? Like that shit is crazy. You know she done what she done. She's guilty of it. You got all the evidence. But you're going to feed and house her for whatever amount of extra years that she get to live, man. Come on, bro. Anyway, I think the point is made. Let me see, though. Let's get that. I did quote the Deuteronomy. And again, that's harsh, man. But the Lord's ways are higher than our ways, man. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. You could never be on a level where you understand how the Lord gets down, man. Well, why? You have these people out here, they do that. They question the Lord all the time. Why? What kind of God would do such a thing? There is no God. They be on that tip, man. Because they can't understand why the Lord would do, children like that. They can't understand why he will flood out the whole earth and only leave 8 people alive. And it's going to come a point where, because this is all flood behavior that's going on right now, but it's going to be that thermonuclear fire that's going to come through here and singe. I can't even say singe. Gonna full press cook you, you damn Americans for sure. Because this place is wicked as hell, man, and it's got to go. There's no justice here. Here you go. You stole the country with the Bible, talking about white Jesus. Then you have people come to the damn courtrooms and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But you got laws throughout the whole 50 states on the books that goes totally against what the Bible says. Totally against. Hardcore against. Matter of fact, these Edomites, they talking about, I just was watching the elder in Dallas. Man, a couple of brothers done a video because it's, the article floating. And they've been talking about this for years. But these Edomites, they want to, arrest you and pretty much give you a mandatory 2-year prison sentence for teaching the Bible. Praying in public and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So these people are wicked as hell, man. I want Salakia. Deuteronomy 32. It says, Deuteronomy 32 and 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal, and neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So with that particular situation, that was the Lord. And then, the scripture talks about no one dying being innocent. This is Job 4 and 7. It says, remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? No one is dying innocently here on this planet, man. Oh, you're so a little innocent, baby. It's innocent. You're such a sweetheart that they gave you the shirt off your back. Nah, man. No one here is innocent, man. Not even us in this truth. You know what I'm saying? And we try, we pray for mercy on a day-to-day basis, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we really we understand. You should understand judgment. The things that we've done as a people, none of us should be here, man. That's pretty much about it, man. The point has been made. I will get this one. Let's get Ecclesiastes 12 and 7. It says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto Yahweh who gave it. That's the point that I wanted to point out, as far as there's not some fiery place underground, man, where you go and burn forever if you're bad. No, your body decompose. It just said, it says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was. That's your body decomposing. Because your spirit leaving as soon as you die. Your spirit is out of here. It's going back to the Lord. Now, it may linger for whatever amount of time, but it's going back directly back to the Lord. It's not going to some fiery place on the ground. It says, and the spirit shall return unto Yahweh who gave it. So we've always been taught that, yeah, you're bad, you're going to hell. The devil is going to be waiting on you. Nah, man, nah. But spirits don't die, man. Spirits are pure energy from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. He created the spirits. He just recycles them, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? You go back to him. You get your judgment. You come back every 3rd to 4th generation, maybe about every 70 to 80 years. And you come back, you don't remember who you were before, but you got to live out that judgment that he gave you to come back here to live out. Sometimes it could be crucial. Sometimes, hey, you don't even make it out of the belly of your mama. Like, I forgot something. Come back here. You're going to do this when you go back. It's just me speaking as a man, Kind of funny, though. Shit, man. The Lord, like, when a pregnant woman dies, you in the belly, you get it with her. You was just put back up. You was just coming back to this place, man. Now you got to go right back to the Lord. The Lord hitting you off with another judgment, man. Like, just wow, man. Well, hey, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God, man. It's going to be amazing, man, to get new bodies and to actually really, comprehend and, understanding more and better. You know what I'm saying? Is, we just, we get what we get from the scriptures, what he teaches us and allows us to get as humans. But, man, you can't even can't even fathom. As a matter of fact, let me get this one. I'll end out with this. This one comes to mind. Psalms 147:5, I think it is. It says, great is our Lord and of great power. His understanding is infinite. See? There's no limit to his understanding. It goes on and on and on and on and on. See, with our understanding, as far as us in these bodies, it's very limited. So you can't get on no level with the Lord, man, to get to, all them. Well, why? What kind of God would do such a thing? Like, man, you better cut it out, shit, and pray for some mercy. That's what you best to be doing. Anyway, though, I'm gonna end out there. I pray that this lesson was edifying. With that, Kwame Yasha Allah and a Bible ball.